kind of theorems. So the first kind of theorems in matrices is your rank. So first is related to rank of matrices. Second kind of theorem that you need to understand or know is related to your eigenvectors and eigenvalues. Eigenvectors and eigenvalues. And the third kind will be your general properties. General properties. So what do you mean by general properties? Like general properties like A inverse transpose is equals to A transpose inverse. Proving all these are easy, but still you should do these at least once to be so that you don't get confused in the exam. Okay. So these are the three kinds of theorem that are generally asked in matrices. So let's start with theorems related to eigenvalues and eigenvector, because these are the most important. So these theorems that is related to eigenvalues and eigenvectors are the most important theorems. Okay, so let's say the first theorem that I want to discuss is, okay, Newton mics. First theorem, okay, number one is similar matrix. Guys, please mute your mic. Similar matrices have same eigenvalues. Okay. Similar matrices have same eigenvalues. So that is your first theorem. Okay, so the proof is very easy. First is what are similar matrices. So if I say that A is similar to B, this implies there exists a non-singular matrix P, non-singular, that is you can find its inverse matrix P such that A can be written as PB, P inverse, okay, or B can be written as some QB, QA, okay, where P and Q are your non-singular matrices. Okay, so I have to prove that they have same eigenvalues. Okay, same eigenvalues. Okay, so first let's understand what do you mean by an eigenvector or eigenvalue. Okay, let's say I have a matrix. Okay, matrix A. So guys, please mute your mics. Okay, so there's a matrix A. So every matrix can be thought as a vector, okay, in some n plane. Like, let's say there's a column vector, okay, 2 into 1 column vector. It can be thought as a vector in 2D or 3 into 1 in 3D, and ND, like n-dimensional vector, can be there. So if I draw a vector, okay, this is, let's say, the vector A, and I multiply it with some other vector X, okay, and if I get this same vector with length lambda times X, okay, so here A into X gives you X only, but stretched by lambda times, okay, stretched by lambda times. So this X will be called as eigenvector, and this lambda is the eigenvalue, So actually X is a vector which, when multiplied by A, gives itself is stretched by some scalar value. That scalar value is lambda, okay, and the vector is your eigenvector. This is the basic, like, geometrical interpretation of the eigenvector or eigenvalue. Okay, so I will share a video also. It's a very beautiful video of understanding whole concept of what are eigenvalues, what are eigenvectors. So now similar matrix have similar eigenvalues. So I know that if A and B are similar, so A can be written as P, B, P inverse, right? And let's say A has lambda as an eigenvalue. So A minus lambda I should be equal to 0, right? Should be equal to 0. Now, I will do the same for P, B, P inverse minus lambda times I. Okay. P, B, P inverse minus lambda times I. Now, because A is equals to PB, P inverse, so this will give you PB, P inverse equal to lambda times I. Now, I can be written as PB, P inverse, this small manipulation, P into P inverse, right? So if you see, this can be written as P times B minus lambda I times P inverse. I took P common from this, and then P inverse common from this and this, and took it to the right side. So this will be, because we know that determinant of AB is equals to determinant of A into determinant of B. This holds for all, like A1, A2, A3, AN. So determinant can be written as determinant A1, determinant A2. So I'm using the property of determinants. I can write it as mod P, determinant B minus lambda I, determinant P inverse, right? But we know that determinant of P inverse is 1 by P. Okay, P into B minus lambda I into 1 by P. Yes, Adnan, you can ask doubt also.
So in the first step only, like whatever you have written P inverse BP, that I didn't get from where you to take it.
Okay, I will tell you. Okay, so this will be equal to B minus lambda I. So the question was similar matrices have. Okay, so the definition of similar matrices is that if a matrix A and B are similar, then there will exist a non-singular matrix, say P or Q or R or ST, whatever you want to name it, such that A will be equal to P times B into P inverse. So this is the definition of. So I'm using that definition. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I use this property A equal to PB P inverse. Then I wrote A minus lambda I, PB P inverse minus lambda I. I will write I as P into P inverse, P into P inverse. Then I will take common P this side, P inverse that side, and then this will be 1 by P. So this will cancel out because these are numbers. Determinants are just real numbers. So this will give you B. So the characteristic equation of A minus lambda I is equals to B minus lambda I. So this implies that eigenvalues will be same. Eigenvalues will be same. Hey, because the equation is same, the roots will be also be same, right? So that is why it is said that the similar matrices have same eigenvalues. Okay, same eigenvalues. So this is the first theorem. Now, similarly, there can be another theorem. There are lots of theorems, lot of problems like this. Okay, so you should try all the problems. Any problem can come. There's one problem, like say, the problem can be that what is a Hermitian matrix? What is a Hermitian matrix?
The matrix whose conjugate
Complex
and then
conjugate.
transfer to matrix itself.
So there's a theorem called Hermitian matrix have real eigenvalues. That is, the whatever the eigenvalue be, it can never be 2 plus 3 iota or 5 iota like this. Okay, it will be always be a real number, 2, 3, 5, 7, root 7, all these numbers, but it will always be real. So how to prove it? So I know that for a Hermitian matrix, A complex conjugate of A will be equal to A, right? This is the property of the Hermitian matrix. So let X be the eigenvector eigenvector and lambda is eigenvalue of A, eigenvalue of A, right? So I can write it as A into X is equals to lambda into X. This is the base result that you should always remember. In case of eigenvector and eigenvalues, A into the eigenvector X is equals to eigenvalue into X. That is your, and you should also know that X is always non-zero. Okay, X is not equal to 0. Because if X equal to 0, you cannot make this relation, because then lambda cannot be determined. So eigenvectors are usually taken as non-zero. Okay, eigenvectors are taken as non-zero. There is a one case, if the eigenvalue itself is 0, then it's a totally different case. Then we will venture into the null space and all these that you will study in the vector space. So always remember, because this is the most useful result that will be used in almost all the theorems of eigenvalues. So Ax equal to lambda x. Okay. So now what I'm going to do now is, okay, now what I'm going to do is I will write it as Ax equal to lambda x. So take this x theta A into x is equals to lambda scalar. So it can be taken out. This can be written as, right? Okay. Now take complex conjugate. This is a small manipulation that you will come from practice. Okay, that will come from practice. So say this is the first equation. Okay. Now I am taking the complex conjugate. Ax into I equals to lambda x theta x into. Now you know the order will change. This will be x theta into A theta into x theta theta. This will be lambda is a scalar, no matter. This will be x theta. This will be x theta into theta. This will give you x theta, and now A theta is A because A is Hermitian, and this will be x because theta into theta is x itself. Similarly, x, there will be x theta, and this will be x. Call this 2. Okay. Oh, sorry, this will be
lambda will transpose.
Yeah, yes. Lambda will be a conjugate. Okay. Because transpose will not affect lambda, it is a scalar, but the conjugate that we take, the complex conjugate, that will happen. So lambda conjugate. So these, if you compare these, left hand sides are equal, right? But right hand sides are different. So from this, we can say from 1 and 2, from 1 and 2, lambda is equals to lambda bar x theta into x. Okay. Now this will give you lambda minus lambda bar x theta into x equal to 0. Because this is these are column vectors. Okay. These are just one-dimensional vectors, and x is not equal to 0. So it means x into x theta can never be equal to 0. You can check. Okay. So this implies that lambda should be equal to lambda bar. This is only possible if lambda is real, because if lambda has any complex value, then lambda will not be equal to lambda bar, right? This is the case. This is the case. Okay. Now for a homework, take this question. Okay. That what is the nature of eigenvalues of skew Hermitian matrices? Okay, skew Hermitian matrices. This is your question, homework question. This is also very easy. You will see they will some you have to follow the almost the same process. Try it. If you're not able to solve it, ping me in the night. I will provide a solution for it. Okay. Now one more theorem. Let's see. Okay. Now let's check for your orthogonal matrices, right? What is the orthogonal matrix? Can anyone tell me?
A transpose into A equal to I.
Yeah, into I. So this is the property of a orthogonal matrix, that if you multiply a matrix with its transpose, it will give you I. Or in another words, you can say that A transpose is equals to A inverse, then that matrix is called orthogonal. This is for real matrices. Matrices with real entries. For matrices with complex entries, we will use a term which is known as your unitary matrix. Okay, unitary matrix. In that, A theta into A. Okay, A theta into A is equals to I. A theta into A equal to 1. Okay, that is A theta, that is complex conjugate will be the inverse. So you should know all these basic definitions. This is a must. Okay, so let's say what is the property of this. So again, I will start with the same thing. I know that A transpose into A equal to I. Okay, equals to I. This is the first thing. Second thing I know, if X is eigenvector, if X is eigenvector and lambda is eigenvalue, then this implies A into X is equals to lambda into X. Okay, lambda into X. Now take transpose. Take transpose. So AX transpose is equals to lambda X transpose, right? So this will be X transpose into A transpose. Lambda will be unaffected by the transpose because it's a scalar, it is not a matrix, right? But this will be changed. So X transpose, right? Now this is the 2 and this is the 1. Multiply both them. Okay, multiply both of them. So this will be your X transpose into A transpose multiplied by AX is equals to lambda X transpose multiplied by lambda X, right? Now this will be X transpose into A transpose into A into X. I can write it like this. Why? Because matrix multiplication is associative. Okay, matrix multiplication is associative. What do you mean by associative? That is A into BC can be written as AB into C. Okay, so matrix multiplication is associative. That is why we can do this. Okay, and this will be lambda square. Why? Because lambda scalar you can take it out into X transpose into X. Right. Now we know that because A is orthogonal, so A transpose into A will be I. So X transpose into IX is equals to lambda square X transpose into X. This will be X transpose into X. Okay, 1 minus lambda square equals to 0. Now only two cases arise, either X transpose into X 0 or this part is 0. But we know that eigenvalues, eigenvectors are non-zero. And this will mean that X transpose into X is also non-zero. You can check because these are for column vectors. This doesn't hold for square matrix in general, but for column vectors, row vectors, this holds. Okay, so this implies that 1 minus lambda square equal to 0 or lambda is equals to plus minus 1. So what do we learn? That for orthogonal matrices, eigen values are either 1 or minus 1. There is no other value possible. It has to be either 1 or minus 1. There cannot be any other value. Okay. Similarly, you take this for homework. Okay. Question for homework. This is your homework. Prove that eigen values of unitary matrices have modulus 1. That is, what is unitary matrix? Unitary matrices is where complex conjugate is its inverse. Okay, This is the unitary matrix, property of unitary matrix. And what is to be proved? That if lambda is any eigenvalue, then mod lambda is equals to 1. Mod lambda is equals to 1. Okay, so if you see, actually the orthogonal matrix is special case of unitary matrix. Okay, so if all the entry of unitary matrix are real, then it becomes the orthogonal matrix. Okay, so this will come from that only. So you have to follow this similar process, but if I'm not able to solve it, you can ask me in the group and I will provide the solution. So these kind of problems you have to do. There are 7-8 such problems that you should do 3-4 times so that you get comfortable in it. Because these are very easy, very easy, but you must do at least once or twice to get comfortable with it. Otherwise, in the exam, it becomes a little like difficult to think, okay, that we have to take a transpose here and then we have to multiply. Okay, I could do it because I have done it before. Okay, so this is the most important theorem that you have to do. Okay, now there's one more theorem that you need to do. Okay, theorem related to rank. The theorem is that if A and B are okay, matrices, then rank AB is less than equal to rank A or rank B. This is one of the most important theorem that you should remember, and you should learn to use it also. But it is very helpful in solving many problems. Okay, so actually to prove this, you need to know one important result. That is actually two important results. Actually, the first result is that rank of matrix does not change by multiplying it with non-singular matrix. Okay, non-singular matrix. So this is the first thing. Let's say if rank of A is equals to 3 and I multiply it with a, let's say, a matrix P which is non-singular, then rank of PA will also be 3. Okay, rank of PA will also be 3. So this should be known to you. Okay, and then the second thing that you should know is that if A has rank R, okay, let's say rank of A is equals to R, then I can write PA, where P is any non-singular matrix, at some G0, okay, where G will have, okay, R rows, okay, R rows. That is, rank of G will be R. Okay, G is any matrix with column, and this 0 denote that all the other rows are 0. Okay, all the other rows are 0. So this is the two things that we will be using to prove this theorem. So is there any doubt till now? You can ask me from all the previous questions that we solved. Okay. Like if anybody joined late or anything, you can ask. So these are the theorems that we discussed. 3 theorems, I think. Now first is that similar matrices have same eigenvalues. Similar matrices have same eigenvalues. So this is the first thing that we used, right? So in this, first I defined what is similarity. So similarity means when two matrices can be written as where A can be written as P, B, P inverse, where P is any non-singular matrix. That is the definition of a similar matrix. Then I proved it using the characteristic equation. Okay, characteristic equation. So this is the first thing. Then the second theorem that we proved is that Hermitian matrices have real eigenvalues. Hermitian matrices have real eigenvalues. Okay, so this was easy to prove. And the third I gave as a homework. And the third I proved is orthogonal matrix and its eigenvalues. Like orthogonal matrices have either 1 or -1 is eigenvalues. Okay, so these are the 3 things that we proved, and 2 questions are given for homework. Okay, so one thing I should give one more clue is that
Excuse me, sir.
yes,
Sir, the second last and the last step I didn't understand.
no, which one? This orthogonal mirror.
Like, no, sir. Last.
So this I will explain. Don't worry. This one, no? A and B, rank of AB is less than equal to rank of A, rank of B.
This I understood, sir. The after that, sir. Whatever you have written G, G and then 0.
Okay, that I will explain just. Okay, that I will explain. So actually, this is a theorem where P is any matrix. Okay, P is any matrix. Actually, what happens is this is the way of writing. So let's say A has a rank of R and P is any non-singular matrix. Then if you multiply P and A, you will get a matrix like this. Okay, where A1, A2, A3 like this, and then B1, and there will be like say BR. Okay, all these things, and then rest of the numbers entries will be 0. So I can write this submatrix as G. Okay, G, and the rest, this is a 0 matrix, so I can write this 0 matrix Z, where this G will have R rows. So I'm writing it at like this. So this is a notation. Okay, this is a way of writing. Nothing fancy about it. Okay, so yeah, okay, let's. I think only 10 minutes are left in the meeting. Okay, let me prove the theorem with. Just give me one. Okay, so the question is that prove that rank of AB is less than equal to rank of A or rank of B. Okay, so let's solve. Let's try to do this question. So first is, let's say let rank of A is equals to R1, rank of B is equals to R2. Okay, rank of, and then let's say rank of AB is equals to R. Rank of AB is equals to R. Okay, now we know that there exists a non-singular matrix P such that P into A is equals to G0. Okay, where sorry, G has R1 rows. Okay, R1 rows. That is the order of G has. G is R1. Okay, G is R1. Okay. Now, if I multiply this by P, so PAB will be equal to G into 0 into P. Right. Okay. So this implies that rank of P AB is equals to rank of AB. Why? Because of the first result. That is, rank of a matrix does not change by multiplying it with a non-singular matrix. And here we said that P is a non-singular matrix. So if I multiplied AB with P, so the rank of PAB will be same as the rank of AB. And rank, what is the rank here? Okay, if you see this, okay, so this has only R1 rows. And if you multiply it with B, B cannot have more than R1 rows. So it means, okay, it means, let's say this has a rank of R. This is, we actually assume rank of AB equal to R. But this will always be less than equal to R1 because this product, of G0 into B cannot have more than R1 rows. Can't have more than R1 rows. Why? Because let's say like this. If let's say there's a matrix 1 1 0 0. Okay, and there are, let's say, A B C D. This is the B matrix. If you multiply this matrix, this cannot have more than one row because all the other entries are 0. If, right. Similarly, because this matrix has R1 rows, it doesn't matter what are the number of rows in B. This matrix cannot have more than R1 rows. It can have less than R1 rows. Maybe that one row is coming 0 by some calculation, but it cannot have more than R1 rows. And we know that rank of AB was equal to this rank of G0 into B, right? And this was R, and this is less than equal to R1, less than equal to R1. So this was the thing. So we actually proved what? From this, we can say that rank of AB is less than equal to R1, which is actually equal to rank of A, because R1 is the rank of A. So we proved the first part. Rank of AB is less than equal to rank of A. Now we have to prove that rank of AB is also less than rank of B. How to do it? Do we the one way you can do the same process again? You can do the same process again, or better will be, we know that rank of AB is equals to rank of AB transpose, right? Because by transform rank doesn't change. This will be rank of B transpose into A transpose. Okay, and by using this property, we can say that rank of B transpose into A transpose will be less than equals to rank of B transpose, which is actually equal to rank of B. Okay, so using all this, we can associate that rank of AB is actually less than equal to rank of B. So what I did, I just changed the whole game. I needed B in the first place to use this theorem, because A is the first matrix. If I took the transpose, B came here. Okay, then I said this is less than equal to rank of B transpose, but rank of B transpose is equal to rank of B, right? Transpose doesn't change the rank of a matrix. So from this, we can associate that rank of AB is less than equals to rank of B. So hence rank of AB is less than equal to rank of A and less than equal to rank of B. Very, very important theorem. Okay, very, very important theorem. This you have to mug up a little. Okay, if you do it 2 times, 3 times, you will understand what is the logic behind it. Okay, so please do this theorem. Very, very, very important theorem from the okay. Then other theorem that you have to do, that you can do on your own. I'm not going to cover it, but if you face, you can always ask it out. It is like that adjoint of AB, okay, is equals to adjoint of B into adjoint of A, or okay, or any like A inverse is equals to A. Okay, all these kind of simple like properties of matrices. Okay, properties. Please see its proof once in the book. This should be done by yourself. These can be asked. Okay, any time can be asked. Okay, let's I think only 1 or 2 minutes are left in the meeting, so let's do one question. Okay, that A has eigenvalue as lambda, then prove that A inverse has eigenvalue as 1 by lambda. How to do it? Okay, how to do it? It's very easy. So we know that if X is the eigenvector, Ax equal to lambda x, Ax equal to lambda x, now multiply by A inverse. So A inverse A x is equals to lambda into A inverse x. A inverse x, this will be x only, Ix is x, is equals to lambda A inverse x. This gives A inverse x is equals to 1 by lambda x. Hence proved. Very easy. But we can do only this because lambda is not equal to 0. You will have to write lambda is not equal to 0. Why lambda is not equal to 0? A non-singular matrix cannot have lambda 0. Why? Because if you see, A minus lambda I is the equal to 0 is the characteristic equation. If lambda becomes 0, it will give A minus 0i is equals to 0. This gives mod A equal to 0. But if a matrix is non-singular, that is its inverse exists, then mod A can never be 0. That is why I can do this. I can take lambda to the denominator. Okay, because I know that if A inverse exists, then lambda can never be 0. If I was not sure about this, I can never take lambda to the denominator. Okay. शेड्यूल में जो MCQs हैं आई थिंक ऑलरेडी शेयर्ड होंगे, इफ नॉट आई विल शेयर इट. Okay, any doubt guys? Any doubt, any question you can ask in the mic. Okay, so what you guys have to do now is do all the question related